Oh,
Completion.
we're live. David and Joe, who's going up the sidelines? Oh, welcome everybody. Brown and Orange Weekly Live. 46 seconds left in the game. 17 all. I'm your co-host Clarence Wilson, and with me is my main man James Elfrich. Browns move the ball into field goal position.
What's going on, everybody? Thanks for joining us. We hope we got some viewers right now. Showing the replay, Flacco on the completion on the left-hand side into Bears territory. Njoku stumbles down the sideline. They push him out of looks like just outside the 20-yard line.
Yes, sir.
So we are in position to win this football game. See if we can run the football and get D-Hop set up for a field goal, or if not, run the ball.
I'm of the ilk when they've got 3 timeouts left. I'd like to see us run the ball, make them use every single one of those timeouts, and kick this field goal and leave them as little time as possible on the clock with no timeouts.
Or none at all. Yeah. I mean, we get that clock out on the last kick.
Yeah.
And that would be ideal. You know, I know a lot of people were nervous as this game has went on. Flacco's struggled with interceptions today, but I think the key focus is that the offensive line has struggled offensively running the football. I'm looking at stats now. Total rush, where's our rushing yards are at 28.
Yeah.
It was throw the football.
A quick run up the middle, timeout Chicago. To quote the great Jim Mora, they didn't run the football and they didn't try to run the football. But we'll get to that.
I'm looking at Brown stats right now. Black 28. I'm going to say that again. 374 yards. 2 touchdowns, 3 picks. It sounds like the maybe a post-game locker room press conference, but when he addresses the team, he'll probably talk about, you know, obviously sloppy again. But hey, let's pull out this victory. 42 seconds left.
17 all.
Flacco in the shotgun.
Quick run up the middle by Kareem. Jumps. Quick timeout by Chicago. How you feeling, James? How you feeling?
Pretty good. Just outside the 15. What's with our guys always wanting to jump in the air? It's like everybody said, what was that, the triangle button on PlayStation? Everybody.
And Njoku did it earlier on the drive upfield.
Yeah. I mean, the game today, it's been ugly. You know, it's been a rain game. Not as bad, I don't think. Correct me if I'm wrong, as the Bengals Week 1 game. It appears Flacco's gripping the ball okay. Playing with gloves on for the Bears. And, you know, they haven't looked great. I think they're only in this game because of the Flacco rushes to the right over about 17-yard line. He rushed to the right. It was to set up positioning for Hopkins. Hopkins is coming out in the field. 36 seconds left. Score tied at 17. That's Chicago's final time. So Hopkins kicked the game-winning field goal.
You're a little choppy, James. You're a little choppy.
Now, a little better.
That's better. All right, here we go.
34-yard field goal attempt from the right hash. Flags are calm on the uprights. Kick is up.
Good, baby!
It is good. Hey.
They got to hold him.
17.
Got to hold him.
32 seconds left. D-Hop comes through again, Clarence.
Wow. Remember when we had York and yeah, I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah. That poor kid, I think, hell of a leg. It got it. And you know how kickers are, they get recycled through the league. So we may see him one day in the future. But right now, the Dustin Hopkins trade before the season started looks like another Andrew Berry. Him and his staff buying our roster. It's been a tough one. The offensive line, Joel Bitonio goes out, has not returned to the game. He's still on the sideline. He's got a jacket on. But I don't know the extent of him being on the sideline still, Clarence. That gives us some hope that we don't have to replace one of our guards that we talked about this week on Brown and Orange Weekly, that those guys have been the guys really keep that offensive line together, but they've had a rough one today.
Yeah, the run game has been non-existent. And again, we know this is for injuries. Sweat has been all over the field for the Bears. Been in our backfield a lot. So if we can pull this one off today, woo.
Hopkins kicks the ball through the end zone. Bears 1st and 10 on the 20-yard line. They're huddled up currently. Watching. 30 seconds left. Fields back, shotgun.
Scrambling out to the outside, going deep downfield. Oh, dropped.
Incomplete pass. Ball was too high by Fields. Clock stops. 25 seconds. 2nd and 10. Is down on the field.
Who's that?
Smith is down on the field.
Oh. I mean, that ball was right there.
Check your kick. There you
go. That ball was right there for it's a little high.
Is that your video picking up? I just turned mine down.
It might be. All right. Good timeout on the field.
Fox is going to commercial. Let's look at some more stats. Clarence, we have not ran the football today. Kareem Hunt, 6 attempts, 6 yards. Jerome Ford, 8 rushes, 20 yards. Pierre Strong, our guy, 2 attempts, 2 yards. It's been tough. That O-line has just struggled to try to provide any kind of balance to our offense. And I know Stefanski loves to throw the football. Flacco has definitely threw the football today. Fortunately, to the other team a few times, but they've really hung in there. The defense has stepped up. I was concerned with the defense in the second half, but we've held it together. And the reason why is because of some of the injuries that we had going into the week. A little concerned with some of the depth back there, that the guys might actually be getting tired here this second half, because maybe we haven't been able to, and I haven't watched closely enough, but maybe we haven't been able to rotate out. Walker being out today at linebacker. All right, the game's back on. 2nd and 10.
Snap the field. He's looking. Oh, what are you doing?
Throws to the right flats. Tyler Scott from Norton, Ohio, Norton High School, runs down the sideline into Browns territory. 15 seconds left.
Where did they mark him out at? That's going to be big, because
I don't know that he got out. I don't know why. We had
Newsome and
Denzel.
I couldn't see the other player, just whiffed on the tackle. Didn't even bother pushing him out of bounds.
Yeah, 1st and 10, 15 seconds. The ball is at the Browns' 45-yard line.
Pressure from the Browns. Don't call. All right.
That
That was almost a really stupid play, him hitting guy when the ball was over his head.
Oh my gosh, yeah. That would have been the worst flag ever.
That would have been right up there with the Dwayne Rudd helmet throw.
Yeah, no more bad flags. So 10 seconds remaining. Career long for the Bears kicker is 55 yards. So they're looking to pick up about, where are we at? Looks like about 12 yards there.
Yeah. Browns take a timeout. Probably want to see what Chicago was looking at. Nervous.
Yeah, both teams have exhausted their timeouts. No timeouts left remaining. Yeah, this has been a game, man. This is what we talked about this week. Any given Sunday, that every one of these games, the rest of the season, the regular season, it's going to be like this. The Bears, they went into Detroit and played very well against Detroit. I got to look. I'm pretty sure they gave the Bears a game. Let's see. What was the final score there? Looks like December 10th, Bears. Well, the Bears, I'm sorry, I wasn't into Detroit. That was at Chicago on December 10th. The Bears won 28-13 over the Lions. We know the Lions have been playing well. All right.
Here we go.
Fields drops back.
Pressure. Throws it away. 5 seconds.
3rd and 10. 5 seconds. Ball still at the around 45-yard line of the Browns. Looks like on that pass attempt clearance, they were trying to get the yardage they needed to give their kicker an opportunity.
Yeah.
Remember back to the second quarter, lead going into halftime, the Bears elected to throw a ball in the end zone, intercepted. After looking at the replay, it was still an official interception, but
We'll change them.
See what happens here.
All right, here we go. 2, 1. Oh, it looks like we're just going for a Hail Mary. Here's the game.
Left side of the field.
Here's the game. Knock it down.
Ball is up.
Oh, intercepted.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God.
Bell comes up with an interception off a Bears receiver. It was thrown into a pile of players. Ball goes towards the goal line into a Bears receiver's hands. Let's see.
Oh, Mooney had it in his hands.
He had it in his hands laying on the ground, and it bounces to Bell. Bell just steps outside of the end zone, goes down. Game over. Whew, Clarence. Another cardiac type win here in 2023 for the Browns. 9-5.
We can't keep winning like this.
Yeah, I mean, you're thinking right now. That's a what? 5-9 now. Bears team. What? That was a hell of a team. Their defense played fantastic.
Yeah, their defense played phenomenal today. Hats off to them. It didn't help that we have the MASH unit going out there on our offensive line. We've got to figure out something because there's no way we're going to be able to keep winning with Flacco throwing the ball. Well, let me see his final total.
I got you. So Joe Flacco stats there. Did you get him yet?
Yep. Looks like he threw the ball 49 times. Is it 40 times or 49? 40 times.
I just did a refresh just to check, but it looked like 44.
Oh, yep. Sorry. Yep, Flacco.
For 374. 2 touchdowns, 3 picks, QBR of 86.
15, 17, 18 total runs. We can't keep winning like this. I'll take it, but we absolutely cannot keep winning like this.
No, the run game, the offensive line could not move anybody. The same way
No.
the offensive line, where you try to control the line of scrimmage. Once Joel Petonio went out, and even prior to Joel going out, he weren't on fire. We finished the fourth quarter scoring 13 points to their nothing. So there's your game. Final score, Browns 20, Bears 10. We showed up in the fourth quarter. I'm sure you probably saw some of the tweets going out there on X of, hey, should we put DTR in? Because Flacco was struggling. And, you know, the way I look at that is you cannot – this is NFL football, and this is the quarterback position. This is not a Cleveland Guardians pitching change because Shane Bieber is struggling in the fourth inning and you want to pull him. You got to let Flacco ride that out. The only thing I would have maybe been okay with is mixing in a few more DTR runs, Clarence, because if you saw Chicago, they made some adjustments there in the second half where you saw called run plays for Fields, and he looked to be running pretty successful.
They had a few plays where it seemed like the Browns were able to get back there and stop Fields, but
yeah,
I don't know, man. I guess my biggest takeaway out of this is that Stefanski has the locker room and he has absolute control of everything going on out there. I guess I'm just still shocked that this is kind of how this whole game went down. I was getting upset because, granted, we couldn't run the ball, but it seemed like we became one-dimensional and they started sitting on top of the quick turnaround routes that we were basically tending to use as our run game. And Njoku run straight up the field, turn around after 5 yards, get a quick catch. That was kind of serving as our de facto run game. But as you saw, they started jumping on some of those routes and almost got a couple picks. So,
yeah, I mean, they were sitting on – it was almost some of the plays as far as to avoid the pass rush was to try to get it out of Joe's hand in under 3 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Typically had more success with anyways, but we weren't getting any yards after the catch. It was almost the DTR start, his second start that he had at home. We're just trying to keep the pass rush off of him and get rid of the football. Except, with Joe's experience, Joe was still trying to sling it around, and I think until the last touchdown pass to Amari Cooper in the fourth quarter. A lot of our plays were almost like backyard football. That play where Flacco run right and Cooper was running towards the center, but then he curled out towards the sideline for a big pass play. It just seemed like Joe's just trying to survive back there, and the guys were trying to just get open and make some plays. It wasn't necessarily perfect timing, but sometimes that's what you need to do sometimes. When you're playing some of the backyard football, once a play breaks down, you're just trying to get space. The touchdown to Njoku, the back of the end zone. The reason why Joe didn't throw that away is because the defender is back to him. And thankfully, Njoku still had his eyes on the quarterback. Did not go out of bounds, thankfully, and made that catch almost like a back shoulder catch, as mentioned on the broadcast. But once again, Clarence, another game where throw to the tight end, feed the Chief.
Yeah.
10 catches for 104 yards and another touchdown. Great game.
On that play, it was crazy because the defender was just basically face guarding him. He had no idea. He had his hands up like that. He had no idea that Chief was even going to get that ball. Chief made an excellent play. Excellent play. And, yeah, I mean, obviously now it looks like Chief and Flacco have a rapport because he seems to be the number one target right now. And that's something I think we've kind of begged for. And over the years is to get the tight end a little bit more involved, and Flacco seems so far to be that guy.
Yeah, and I had to laugh because when I was watching the game and I thought it was him getting a catch, and it was Jordan Akins getting his for 8 yards. I was like,
Just one
yes, he got his one. So yeah, Elijah Moore, 2 catches, 17 yards. But the player of the game, definitely David Njoku, 10 catches, 104 yards. Cooper, 4 catches, 109 with the 51-yarder and the touchdown. So once again, let's see how many 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 receivers for Joe Flacco today. 9 different receivers. Like I said, Njoku with his 10, Cooper with his 4. Tillman had a couple nice catches as well.
Yeah, a couple key catches for Tillman today.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, kind of like you said, what in this press conference, we all talk about the Browns trying to run the ball, but if we keep winning like this, it's kind of hard to to talk about the run game. But I'm wondering how we're going to be able to somehow get the run game involved going forward with all the injuries we have on the offensive line. We had a little Twitter back and forth during the game about wanting to see more Pierre Strong. He looked explosive on that screen. I feel like we get that guy in some space, he might become a weapon for us if we can figure out a way to get him in space. But I'm happy as hell. I'm just kind of still in shock that that's the way that whole game played out, because it was a little tough to watch, especially in the first half at points. That whole first quarter was just puke. That's all I can say about the first quarter.
Yeah, teams adjusting to the weather.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't much good actions.
No.
But, patiently, we made it through the game. If we want to recap, it looks like we had a scoreless first quarter. Second quarter, Fields threw a touchdown pass to his tight end. That was a tough play because I thought Miles was going to have him sacked.
He had a hold of him.
Yeah, he had about looked like he had 1 mid on him. Fields got away, rolled to his left, hit his tight end in the corner of the end zone. That was a 3rd down play too, I believe. But it was credit to Fields playing better. I know a lot of people in this area, Fields being a former Buckeye. We want to see him look good to an extent, not necessarily today. But Fields did play much better, I would say, than he did his last time in Cleveland Stadium, where I think he was sacked 8 times. But our first score of the day was Flacco hitting what we talked about, Njoku in the back of the end zone to tie it at 7. So we go into halftime. What did you think about that second quarter right before half? Chicago was driving, and them going for that Hail Mary instead of trying to kick a field goal. Did they just know? You think they just knew from like pregame how far their kicker is going to be able to kick?
I mean, possibly, but I still say in that position, you got to go ahead and put it up and try and put points on the board, because you're going to have a better chance, I would think, percentage-wise, of hitting a long field goal than you are trying to throw that Hail Mary, which is what they, ended up doing. I'd say the percentages say you've got a better shot of making that. So I thank them for it, because that could have been the difference in this game, quite frankly. But
so second half, third quarter, the Bears outscore us 10-0. Flacco threw the short pass that was intercepted at the Cleveland 45, returned for a touchdown, making the score 13-7. Chicago through the extra.
I'm sorry, you broke up on me?
I was just looking at the scoring summary. It didn't say PAT good or whatever, but it went up 14-7 on us, correct?
Yeah. Yep.
Then they capitalized. The Bears had a 41-yard field goal, making it 17-7 going into the fourth quarter, and then it was nothing but the Browns. Hopkins 33-yard field goal to make it 17-10, and that was at the 12:27 mark of the game. And then all the way down, it looked like punting back and forth. Teams were struggling to move the football. At the 3:08 mark, Flacco hits Cooper on the right-hand side, and Cooper dances down the sideline.
Great play.
Close to going out of bounds for the 51-yard touchdown. Hopkins with the PAT scores tied 17. And then we came on the air. Peacock kicks a 34-yard field goal with 32 seconds remaining to give us the go-ahead score, and the defense closed the game out. So just being 9-5 right now with everything that we've went through, even the injuries that were reported early in the week. Once again, it's almost like we're in the NCAA tournament, and it's just survive and advance.
Pretty much.
I mean, that's how it feels anymore. We've talked about that any given Sunday. We show up every week. There's no layups left. I don't care who we're playing. I think the Dolphins destroyed the Jets, and then we have the Jets coming up. We have the Texans coming up. The Stroud sat today, correct? He was out. Texans quarterback C.J. Stroud.
Yeah, he did not play today. I want to go back to a play, and this is kind of almost something that we've, kind of talked about over the last few weeks. I feel like things are changing, man. Like, let's go back to the first quarter. I believe that the Tonyan drop, wide open downfield for the Bears, dropped a wide open ball after I believe Taki was chasing on that play. But that's the kind of stuff that would have happened and been successful, I guess, in years prior to that. Or, the Bears, like you said, kind of in the first half, at the end of the first half, teams go for the field goal right there. These kind of plays seem to be going our way right now. And I think that's a huge part of this run that we're on with, using our fourth string quarterback. Or sorry, it wasn't even really our fourth string quarterback. He wasn't even on the team, 5 weeks ago. So
yeah, I think he's, thank God Flacco has his name on the back of his jersey. Nobody would know who he was, right? But yeah, I mean, he's going to come out and tell us how much he struggled and how fortunate we are that we won this football game. Got to play better next week. We won't have to worry about the weather playing in Houston. So. I hope Joe Petonio, that's the big concern I have right now going forward. But seeing Joel still on the sidelines, that's at least promising, right? Because he wasn't carted off. Nobody took his helmet, I don't think. He just had the jacket on watching the rest of the game. So definitely go back.
Yeah. We're struggling right now in that O-line, so that's going to be a huge key. One of the things that I kind of talked about was Joe being able to avoid that rush was one of my bigger concerns. Old guy looked kind of spry today. He got out of the pocket a few times, avoided the rush a few times. I was pleasantly surprised with him being able to get away.
I just looked at the final score. So the Texans won in overtime at Tennessee against the Titans.
No.
I know. I saw and you know what? I'm sure you saw my tweet this week of the Titans deciding to wear their Oilers uniforms and basically city of Houston. That pissed me off. Definitely. I mean, as much as I love those uniforms and I want to see them on TV, I want to see them on a field. But to do that, can you imagine, when the Browns moved to Baltimore, if they would have kept the name and team colors or something, let's say, let me take that back. So they become the Ravens, but we didn't get our colors in our history. But then we decide to play at Baltimore one game and they decide to wear their Browns throwbacks. That would have been, gosh, we would have been irate.
Yeah, that I thought that was I just thought that was just wrong, honestly. Like,
Yeah,
the
Vulcan, right?
Houston Oilers have a nice, rich tradition, and yeah, I kind of feel like those colors and uh, the history should maybe if they wanted to take the colors, or whatever, but the history should have stayed in Houston. So maybe that's comeuppance in karma if the Texans won.
Unbelievable. But it's going to be another victory Monday for us. And going to be super excited all week, I think, for the game. Another 1 o'clock game next week in Houston. And then we have the week after Christmas. We'll be playing at home against the Jets on a Thursday night game. Clarence, I know you talked about going to that game. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's right now it's looking good for me attending. What's not looking good is the weather forecast. It's supposed to be about 26 degrees in the evening, so I'll be bundled up. But hopefully, I can bring us a little bit of luck this year. I'm 2-1 at games this year, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got an undefeated at home. I've got the Bengals win under my belt. I've got the 49er win under my belt, and my only loss was when I went to Pittsburgh, and I'll never go back there for a football game ever again, ever.
So the Cincinnati game and the Niner game.
Yes.
Bad weather games.
Um, the Niner game wasn't too bad. It was just kind of gray outside, but the Bengal home opener game, yeah,
I couldn't
we thought
remember
we
a bunch. I think it maybe rained a little bit on and off, I think, for the Niner game.
a little bit here and there, but I was living a sweet life.
I thought Purdy, I remember Purdy dropping back to throw a ball and kind of lost it or something like that. So are you sure you bringing the weather?
No, I was living the sweet life in the 49er game, so I didn't get to experience that. But for the home opener, had to go in and spend $10 on a 99-cent poncho to stay dry on that one.
Well, I can't blame you for wanting to be in the suite. So
Oh
yeah,
no,
tempted for that Jets game because if that's a playoff clinching game, that takes me back to January 1987, one of the first Browns games I think I ever went to. And my dad took me to that playoff game, the divisional game against the Jets. So probably one of the best wins that I've been to since 99 at the stadium was the William run game against the Falcons to clinch the playoff spot. So I would love to be that atmosphere at Cleveland Browns Stadium. Everybody excited, fired up, ready to go. Is Aaron Rodgers going to play in this game, Clarence?
I doubt it. I mean, maybe for my fantasy team, I'd like to see it happen, but I don't know how much he would help them either. Just unbelievable. I'm like I said, I'm still kind of in shock at this win. The Browns hung around and hung around and hung around, and those are the kind of games we normally lose. But again, things seem to be turning. It's just odd to see that down 17-7, and again with zero run game, and Flacco seeming to want to throw the ball to the other team a little bit more than he wanted to throw it to our guys. Just the fact they came out with this win is just unbelievable to me. I don't know. It's maybe because I'm jaded because I've watched so much bad Browns football and watched the Browns kind of, Browns, they've been known to hang around, keep you invested until the very end, and then, kick you in the junk. Well, it's these times they seem to be changing. I don't know.
Well, speaking of kicking the junk, I really think we're going to need the Jacksonville Jaguars to help us out tonight and beat the Ravens. So Ravens could be 10-4, us 9-5. Clarence, I'm trying to predict a little bit ahead, but that Browns at Bengals game in Week 18, could that possibly be for the division that I've been asking about since the first time I ever came on Brown and Weekly with you, Dean, talking about 34 years since the 1989 AFC Central Division champion. Man, that you want to talk about icing on the cake. Yes, we want to make the playoffs, but if we could win the division and potentially host a playoff game, which I think we definitely need, because right now, with the way we've struggled on the road defensively, I think we're going to need one, Clarence. And, man, that would just be an ultimate cap to this regular season to somehow come back and win this division, because the Ravens have a tough schedule
Yeah.
the rest of the season.
This is very true. You know what? At this point, well, I'm almost on that, like, I'm just enjoying the ride right now, James. I did not expect us to be here whatsoever after losing Watson, after losing Chubb early in the season. You knew my thoughts on bringing Flacco in here. Yeah, I was concerned he wouldn't be able to fit in with the way this offense was structured. So I feel like at 9 we need one more win, and then let the chips fall where they may. If we can pull out a couple, cool. But I'm almost at that point where we're playing with house money. Joe Flacco and Kareem Hunt and Jerome Ford and a little sprinkle of our man Pierre Strong, was not kind of the main backfield battery I thought we'd be dealing with at this point. So, like I said, I kind of feel like we're sitting with house money.
I think as fans, we think that, and I think we talked about that a little bit this week on the Brown Orange Weekly. But as a team, it's just we're 1-0.
Yeah.
And me as a fan, I'm starting to pay more and more attention now to this Ravens schedule. At Jacksonville tonight, and then next week on Christmas Day, actually Christmas Eve, Ravens go to San Francisco for a night game.
Mm-hmm.
Which it seems like Christmas Day games, even when you think about the NBA, it's almost harder to be at home. And I have no data to back that up. But for me, I think it would be harder at home as a home game, because you're leaving your house, Christmas morning, kids are there, open their gift, all that. And how do you get into the let's go kick somebody's ass on the field mode?
Yeah.
As if you're on the road, you're already in the hotel, maybe you're fired up because you got missing the whatever.
It's a business trip on the road.
Yeah. So, at Jacksonville, at the 49ers, and then the Dolphins come into town in Baltimore on New Year's Eve. And then January 7th, we're down to the Steelers go into Baltimore. And hope, can you imagine us rooting for Pittsburgh in week 18?
No, I don't want to do that.
Win the division. That's where I'm going with this.
We can dream, man. We can dream. I'm just buckled up for wherever we go at this point, because again, like, we're not supposed to be here. Not with what we have, not with our injuries. We're not supposed to be here at all. This Browns team, I would think in the past, would have folded. And again, Stefanski makes me mad as hell. I'm not gonna sugarcoat that whatsoever. That dude pisses me off. I wouldn't say weak, not as much as he used to, but today I was just like, come on, man. But he's got a grip on this team right now. He's got a solid grip on this team. He has everybody believing, everybody playing well. I don't want to put any kind of cap on how far I see this team going, and I don't want to put a floor on it, but this Browns team is truly week to week, and we just keep figuring out, they just keep figuring out how to win these damn games. So we win the division, cool. We don't win the division, we get in the playoffs, cool. Either way, this Browns team has far exceeded my expectations.
Based on injuries.
Based on injuries. Yes, we had. No, this is exactly. if we had everybody, this is where I thought we should be.
That's what I was thinking, because I was thinking like in predictions, you were at about the 11 mark, 10 or 11.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
Dean
and that's
at like
and that
12.
and that's that's thinking like, all right, Watson comes out and he's becomes what he used to be. That's having minimal injuries. I'm thinking this is an 11-6, maybe 12-5 football team. With everything going pretty much as well as it physically can. But no way in hell I would have thought that we'd be sitting at this spot with, again, it's weird every time he's on the field. Joe Flacco is wearing a Browns jersey. It blows my damn mind.
Thankful for it. When I saw that opportunity to finally sign a veteran quarterback in here, and for him to do, I wasn't concerned as much as you were. I know with the playbook and him being a statue, which I know he looked a little statue-ish today. That pass rush Bears were putting on him, but you can see the 13-0 in the fourth quarter and how he brought us back after all the. It's kind of like a LeBron situation where LeBron made it. Maybe he didn't shoot well the first 3 quarters of the game, but when it was crunch time, he had been there before. He clutched up and made the plays we needed to win. So, is he LeBron James? Is Joe Flacco going on the side of the Sherwin-Williams with a banner? No, I don't see that. But tell you what, win the Super Bowl. Yeah, that would be crazy. But
he wins the Super Bowl, and it's mostly him. Does Joe Flacco get a statue?
Well, LeBron, he don't have his yet. There's no Kyrie in the shot yet either. So, of course, they're both active players, but man,
yeah,
I don't put anything past our franchise. But there's still a lot of great players, a lot of Hall of Famers that don't have statues there.
this is very true.
So,
well, speaking of our fans and our franchise, the man who smashed the guitar today was a guy that we put on the cover of Madden, and Peyton Hillis. This is by fan vote. So,
hey, thank God that Peyton's alive.
Exactly.
His story. He rescued, was it his kids, and I think maybe a niece, nephew.
Yes.
Earlier this year.
Almost drowned.
For a long time. They weren't even sure if he was going to make it out alive. And if you get a chance, Google his interview since he's been out of the hospital and how thankful he is to be alive. And as Browns fans, we should be thankful that, yeah, he was there today. I need to go back and watch that video then. I want to see Peyton, the reception
the guitar
that the team and the fans gave him. So that's awesome. I love to hear that.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, what a wild day. What a wild day. What a wild day.
I think the only thing that didn't go for us this weekend was the Vikings blowing that game against Cincinnati.
Yeah.
The Bengals actively available for a playoff spot. They are at Pittsburgh next weekend. 4:30 game. Then on New Year's Eve, they are at Kansas City and us hosting us on January 7th. So Bengals got some tough games coming up because it's still the Steelers. I know they're having some struggles, Clarence, but
they're reeling.
Yeah,
they are reeling. I will say, as much as we dislike Pittsburgh, as a team, their fans are just as passionate as we are, and I know we've had especially last year, a lot of people didn't like Joe Woods, but I don't remember ever being in the stadium and hearing a fire Joe Woods chant break out like I heard the fire Matt Canada chants break out when I was there for the home opener, which happened. But now it seems they want to get rid of Mike Tomlin. They're struggling right now, but kind of like you said, it is the Steelers. It's they're an organization and a franchise that has a lot of pride. They do this. They do things their way, and it's been successful for them. So definitely not counting them out, especially with their backs against the wall.
Yeah, there's no way Tomlin's going nowhere. That's a franchise that just does not move on from head for 1 year struggling. But hey, we'll take it as Browns fans. We're thankful to have them in the basement. It's about time we got the hell out of the basement of the division. And it's buried in that basement this year. That's just another win for us as far as how this season has went. So, any other left over from this game before we get out of here?
No, man. I'm just Browns Nation. Things are turning. Things are changing. I've been kind of hesitant to just come right out and say it because I'm a Browns fan. Things don't go our way a lot of the time, but things are changing. I'm a older fan, so between James and I, we've seen a lot of. We saw the Browns before they left, and this new version has come back. It seems like anything that can go wrong will go wrong. I've even coined a phrase for, when silly plays happen to teams. I've coined the phrase between me and my friends. I'm like, that's some Browns type shit. But that's not BTS Browns type shit. Doesn't seem to be happening to us as much anymore.
Outside of the injuries, the injury bug's been biting.
But even then, James, like injuries in the previous years would have destroyed us.
Oh yeah.
But it's not happening right now. And the Browns are, we're figuring out these ways to win games that we have never done. Or sorry, I shouldn't say we've never done, that we haven't done since '99.
And it all comes back to a championship mindset. The Haslams right now are on fire after, their ownership stake in the Columbus Crew. Up down in Columbus, bringing a championship to Ohio again. And if you don't know, they have part ownership in the Milwaukee Bucks as well. Now that was after Giannis and the Bucks won their NBA title. But still, what they've put together here in Cleveland right now, I know we all gave them a lot of shit, including me. Not even wanting to go to the Pilot Flying J and buy gas to support. A few years where I wasn't buying Browns apparel. I still supported the team distance because I love Cleveland and I love the Browns, but it's been difficult. But man, this has been such a fun season. We need to go back and watch our preseason preview. I think that'd be a good thing. Maybe pull a clip from that and where we were then and to where we are now. Maybe reflect on that on this week's Brown and Orange Week as the regular season starts wrapping up here. And Christmas time coming, but it'd be fun to reflect on that. I really think we're both pretty close to where we thought we would be this season so far, outside of predicting all the injuries, which nobody. So far, it's been a fun year. Great game today. Glad we could jump on with everybody and go live for a little bit. Please feel free to start joining in the chat. We're looking to go live more often. So please share this, like, subscribe, Believe Land Media on YouTube, and then also on Apple and Spotify. Follow Brown and Orange Weekly as the podcast drop there. And we just want to continue to put more time and effort into this in order to take a fan base so passionate and hopefully that they value what our words are week to week about favorite team here.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Thank you, everyone, for who's joined in today. Tell a friend. We're going to try and do, as you said, we're going to try and keep doing this as often as possible. And tell you what, it's a hell of a lot more fun to do this after a win than it would be after a loss, because this might be a rated R podcast if we had blown this game somehow today. But we didn't. We're 9-5 and feeling alive. And I'm ready to see. I'm ready to see what happens. We got a few more games left. Let's see where we go. Either way, it's been a great season. we're well beyond where we thought we would be with this amount of injuries. So let's just keep going.
And once again, final score from Cleveland Stadium: Browns 20, Bears 17. We're looking forward to Houston, but let everybody out there enjoy Victory Monday and have a great work week. Last full work week leading into Christmas Eve weekend.
That's right. As always, you never know what somebody else is going through, so be nice to one another. You guys know that about me by now. Just be kind, be nice, and as always, you know the routine. The words. That guy, he probably would have called a wishbone play to run it in for a touchdown today, but our guy Freddie Kitchens, you don't wear that brown and that orange, you don't matter. Peace, y'all. Go Browns.
Go Browns.